Hi there, I'm Meteorologist Brad Huffine to talk about some unconventional tips on tornado safety. Every time the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning, it's either indicated by radar that one is possible or one has been detected by radar or seen, and therefore they issue a tornado warning. Every time a warning is issued, the expectation is for those who are in the warning polygon, the path of the storm, to seek shelter. Now, you've heard everyone say the traditional seeking shelter inside of a small room, closet, hallway, bathroom, underground in a storm shelter, or in a basement. You've heard people say do not be in a vehicle when a tornado comes by. Other than that, here's what I want to help you think through. If you live in a rural area, for instance, in a state like Oklahoma or Kansas or Texas, places where the roads are very predictable in the grid pattern, one of the things that I suggest to people is if you have time, you see on radar where the storm is, you're in the polygon of the warning. I want you to also consider the possibility of simply getting in your car and going at a right angle to the path of the storm. In other words, get out of the way if you can. Why do I say that? Because Brad, isn't getting in a car one of the most dangerous things you can do? Not necessarily if you have time to get out of the way of the thunderstorm. If I had someone holding a bullet toward my chest and I had a Kevlar vest on, and if that bullet struck my Kevlar vest, I'd probably be bruised, but I would probably survive. But wouldn't it be best for me just to step out of the way of the bullet instead of taking the bullet? That's the unconventional way that I want you to consider thinking if you live especially in a rural area or places where you know you could get in a car quickly and just drive out of the path of the storm. I've actually done that several times and suggested that to numerous people over the years. When I see where a storm is, they call me and say, hey, is this tornado warning real? And a handful of times I've said, get in your car and just move out of the path of the storm and let the storm go by. See, that's the kind of unconventional thinking that we can't really share with the masses, because if you're in a city with lots of traffic, that may mean that you're stuck in traffic in a car and a tornado goes by. That's not what you want ever. You don't want to pull under a bridge or an underpass, because that will keep the rain from falling, but it won't keep the winds from really channeling and funneling through there and actually getting stronger winds underneath the bridge or overpass. So seek best available shelter wherever you are. And if you can, and you feel comfortable in doing so, simply get out of the way of the storm, let the storm pass, and then come home to see if any damage did in fact occur. I'd rather you be able to do that than risk being in a home and a large tornado comes through where the debris is shooting through your house and hope that you don't get killed or injured. So this is how I'm inviting people to think when it comes to tornado safety. One size does not fit all. But the best thing to do is know that you need to seek shelter somewhere if you can't get out of the way.